Hi guys, it's me again, and today we're going to talk about differences between Anglia Ruskin University and Bedfordshire University. I've been in both of them. I did my undergrad in Bedfordshire University in Luton, and now I'm doing my master's degree in Anglia Ruskin University. And today I'm gonna basically talk about differences and advantages or disadvantages of these two universities. If you're planning to pick one of these, I'm gonna tell you that both of these universities are really good. There are some differences between teaching and the location, which is the crucial part in this case. First of all, the location. As I said, there is a big difference between locations. University of Bedfordshire have different campuses. Main campus it's based in Luton, the other one is in Bedford, and there's Milton Keynes and there's London. So these campuses share different subjects. So I did psychology, and majority of subjects such as business studies, law, psychology, English studies, theatre, acting, everything is based in Luton. So if you're going to apply to university, you're going to be put automatically where the university has the specific subjects. But I'm going to talk to you about Luton campus, where I lived for 3 years and where the main campus is. University of Bedfordshire was such an amazing place. I really loved the university. People were amazing, and everyone from the staff members, teachers were incredibly supportive, and I really enjoyed my time actually there. And I kind of miss it though. I did my 3 years of undergrad in psychology. Every year was a bit different. My first year I was struggling with my English because I came to England almost not knowing anything. I knew the basics, but still the English that it's academic and proper communication between two people are completely different. Because I'm coming from Poland and my English lessons were not as good as I would expect them to be. I'm not saying anything to my teachers because they did what they could. It's just that I didn't have passion to learn English, just because I didn't know that I'm gonna come to England at some point and be living here, and I'm gonna leave here. So that was quite new to get to know that I'm going to apply to British universities. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. When it comes to Bedfordshire, still, the university is very modern, and they have a lot of equipment for psychology, for MRI studies. We've got an eye tracking machine, I've got VR, virtual reality tests, we've got plenty of equipment. Teachers are incredibly engaging and knowledgeable. When it comes to different courses like business or law, we've got like specific places, like we've got fake court in our uni, so basically you can have lectures in like real court, having these interactions and to have this kind of real life experience during your lectures, during practicals, which is incredible, where you can get that experience from other than lectures. And yeah, it's just amazing. And there were so many things like the career office that we had. It was amazing. Every single person in there, I don't know why, but they were so lovely. People there were so lovely. Career office was incredible. It helped me with my career plans in the future. It helped me with getting skills and experience I wanted. International office was very helpful. Student information desk was incredible, and I got my support every time what I wanted. I just went to student information desk and I asked, and they gave me the answer. Or if they didn't know the answer, they put me to people who know the answer. So I went somewhere else to get to know to my question. So actually I cannot say anything bad about the Luton campus apart from the location. Personally, it's just my personal experience. That city is not very big, and there's not many events happening, or there's not many pubs or coffee shops. Personally, I love going to coffee shops and study. In Luton there was just like Starbucks or Costa. There were coffee shops like that, but I just didn't feel like going there. But comparing to Cambridge, we've got such an amazing amount of coffee shops and restaurants and pubs, and just places that you can go out and study. So that's a big comparison, the location. Luton is a bit boring, but at the same time it's much closer to London. So the fastest train I've been in, it was 35 minutes to London. So I went in a train and went to London, which is incredible because like from Cambridge it's quite far. It's like about less than 2 hours of traveling by train to London. So I would say if you live in Luton, which is a really cheap place, it's much cheaper than Cambridge, you can save a lot of money. You can travel to London often, frequently. I know many people who worked in London and were living in Luton, which was a much better option for them because they saved a lot of money on rent in London because it's really expensive. So I guess that's a good thing to think about if you want to live in Luton. I would recommend, if you want to move to Luton, I would recommend going there and seeing this in your eyes if you really like this place, or you have to basically feel connected to the place you're going to live. So I would recommend going there and seeing this in your own eyes and deciding if you really want to move there. When it comes to Anglia Ruskin University, location is perfect. It's Cambridge. Who wouldn't like to live in Cambridge? It's such a student city. There's so many students, plenty of students, a lot of students, just students everywhere actually. So if you want a vibrant city that's happening, there's something happening, there's a lot of happening, come to Cambridge. Second, the quality of teaching. I cannot compare that in-depth teaching styles between Bedfordshire and Anglia Ruskin just because I'm on 2 different courses. On my undergrad, I know that I didn't know English, but also the level of education was a bit lower than master degree because master degree is much higher than undergrad. So I feel like if I would compare those teaching styles, it would not be fair because I know that I needed a lot of support when I was in my undergrad, and I feel like in Anglia Ruskin I didn't get that much support just because they think that we know everything, that we don't need support because we are adults, because it's a master degree and it's quite high up in education styles. It's very independent, so we have to do work on our own. Obviously in Bedfordshire we did stuff on our own as well. It was just that the support was much stronger and I felt much more supported in Luton than I am in here in Anglia Ruskin. But it's just my personal experience. I know people who are very satisfied with their teaching and support they get from here, from Anglia Ruskin. It's just that courses differ, teachers differ, and I'm aware of the levels that I was studying. But from my perspective, I got much more support from Luton than from Anglia Ruskin. 3, jobs. I know many students ask me if when they are trying to come to England, especially Polish people, they're asking me, is it difficult to find a job? And I would say it depends on the city again. In London it's really easy to find a job because the city is huge and there's always jobs that people need people there. When it comes to Cambridge, it's the city is really big, but it's not as big as London obviously, but there's a lot of job available just because even though it's a student city, I know that Cambridge students cannot work because that's the regulation that they have. I know we've got we can work full-time, but ideally the university is telling us to work 20 hours per week, which is a part-time job. So when it comes to work, you can find jobs. I found my job when I knew I'm coming to Cambridge. I've applied to many jobs online when I was still in Luton. So I've applied there and I was just waiting for the answers. And when I got the answer from the job I really wanted, they asked me to come for the interview. So I came to Cambridge for the interview day, and I went through this, and 2 weeks later, which I was still in Luton, I got a job in Cambridge, and I told them that I'm starting my university here only at the end of September, so I could start my job only at the end of September, and they agreed. So I got a job, amazing job. If you want to, I'm gonna talk about it in another video. But yeah, I got a job, and just because I've applied before everyone came to Cambridge, because if people are coming to Anglia Ruskin, they always occupy agencies, job centers, just because when they came here they want to find a job as soon as possible. But be smart about it, apply before that. Why would you wait 3, 4, sometimes even more than a month for the answer from job, if you can get it earlier and talk to people, managers, that you start when you come to Cambridge? That's so easy. Just be smart about finding a job. When it comes to Luton, it was a bit harder to find a job in there because the city isn't that big, and there is much more job available outside Luton. And the good thing is about Luton is that Luton has airport, and I found a personal job in Luton airport for some time. I was working in Wasabi there, and it was quite a good job. They paid much better than in any other place, so I was happy about that. But again, be aware, if you're deciding to come to university somewhere in England, do research if the city is big enough, how about jobs. Create a LinkedIn profile. That's really important when it comes to find a job. LinkedIn profile will save your life at the end, because there's plenty jobs. I found my job there, and I'm gonna share with you just briefly. I found a job in the University of Cambridge Press, so it's really prestigious job that I found. I'm really happy about it. So if you ever want to know about it, just write me in a comment, and I'm just gonna talk more about my job and how I found it and what are the tips for finding a job. Maybe you'll be interested. Another thing is the accommodation. Some places in England are much more expensive, some of them are less expensive. So before coming to England, if you want to study in England, do research about prices in general, because prices in Luton were lower than London, but Cambridge is in between, so prices in London are very high, especially for accommodation. Cambridge is known to be expensive as well. However, if you'll be smart again about finding your accommodation, you will find something really cheap as well, because I paid around £500 per month in Luton for student accommodation. Right now in Cambridge I'm paying £450 per month, which is cheaper than Luton for almost the same environment I have, which is incredible, because like it's really close to the university, it's not that far, and it's really cheap. In London, for the same house that I have right now, I would probably be paying more than £600 per month, which is a big difference. So do research. All in all, I feel like both universities did great, and I feel like in both universities I can take lots of experience and lots of knowledge, so I would recommend both of them actually. When it comes to ratings, I'm not an analytical person, but I like to put stuff in scale, so I will give University of Bedfordshire 5 out of 5 stars, and I will give Anglia Ruskin 4 out of 5 stars. There is a room for improvement for both of the universities, but I still feel like I got much more from University of Bedfordshire, which I'm very happy about, even though many people think that this uni is not as high in rankings, which is not, but I feel like they put lots of work into student experience, and I feel like they did a really good job, especially for people like me from EU, international people who are coming from different countries. So I really felt welcomed in there, and I really would recommend this university. That will be it for today. Thank you very much for listening if you are still here. If you liked it, please like the video if you liked it, and click the subscribe button. It would be great if my amount of subscribers will rise, then I'll feel motivated to record more videos, obviously. But as I said in my first video, I really want to do it for myself at first, because I need to go out from my comfort zone and learn how to speak English, especially to the camera, and learn presentation skills. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!